Hey YouTube, what's going on? Abyssal Wave here, and today I'm going to be commentating over my Arcway 14 that we did last week, which was Sanguine, Volcanic, and Fortified. So this dungeon is pretty easy with that affixes. It's really nice with Fortified because the bosses are actually pretty hefty in this instance. You know, the General Zotil and Advisor Vandros are pretty difficult with Tyrannical, believe it or not, but on pull on these oozes, I do pop Breath, and I do pop Cindergrosa's Fury. The reason I pop those two is because I want them up for later stuff, so I pop them right on pull, even though we have an Affliction Warlock. He just absolutely dominates with Soul Flame, so it depends on your comp. If you have an Affliction Warlock, you're not really dependent on to use Breath in AoE situations, but it's still okay too, but I probably should have saved Breath for here. This is another pull that's pretty difficult, almost die there, but I use my proc Death Strike to heal back to about half health and help my healer out a bit. But right here I'm just using Obliterate, Rhyme Proc, trying to get Obliterate, Rhyme Proc as much as I can. That's really the rotation you want to use whenever there's AoE. I pop Pillar right about here. When do I pop Pillar? I think I either save it or I pop it there. Maybe should have used it there, but that's okay. It's not a big deal because our Affliction Warlock, I use it there, but our Affliction Warlock is about to blow everything up. So this isn't really your dependence as a DPS in this if you have a really heavy AoE class. So right here, everything blows up, but right there is where you would want to use your Breath if you saved it from the first pull. But if not, then you're just using Remorseless, and then you're using Obliterate, Rhyme Proc. So next up we have this other Acidic Bile. So these things are annoying because they have a lot of health and do a lot of damage. So this consume, if it's on you, it does a ton of damage. As you can see, our rogue almost died from it. If he does consume you, you can Wraithwalk in AMS or Icebound. Any of those will do. Dirty Rats next. So this, if you are using Consort's Cold Core, the legs, then you're going to have Cindergrosa's Fury out for this. So if so, pop it there and destroy everything. I'm using Bracers for this dungeon, so I don't. So this is another pretty difficult pull, these two Warp Shades on Fortified. They absolutely demolish the group. So what you want to do with this is whenever you're about half health and you see Phase Breach about to come off, you're going to want to pop AMS. And for Arcane Reconstitution, you can grip to interrupt it as well as Mind Freeze. So technically on those, you have 2 interrupts. So you want to use that if your group doesn't have interrupts. Next up, we have this guy, the Arcane Anomaly. So the Arcane Sparks have to die as soon as possible. So single target those down ones. Don't cleave onto them. Just single target them down as fast as possible. So, and thankfully your single target will AoE a bit. Next up, I have my Cindergrosa's Fury up because I have the 5-minute, I have Rune Chills and Thornbreaker, so it's up a little faster, but I have it up for that. You're going to want to use it there because you want to blow these up as fast as possible because they do a lot of damage to the group. So what I do is we're just trying to leave at least one up. It's okay for one the same way because I can just grip it out and we can just kill it and end that little thing. So you do want to interrupt Nether Spite as much as you can. And then we go to this guy, the Forgotten Spirit. These are really annoying because the debuff Torment that I put on the group, it decreases the amount of healing you take. So you want to roll interrupts on it. So I call out my interrupts on cooldown. So I use it on the last one just to kind of, so we can move on to the next group as soon as possible because Torment does last 10 seconds. Next up, we have this group. This is an annoying group as well. I don't really like it because they spread out a bit. If you have a Blood Decay or a Vengeance Demon Hunter, then it's a pretty easy pull because you can just grip everything together and AoE it down. We don't. So what we do is we don't have me grip because if they overlap and one gets stuck in the Sanguine, we want me to grip it out. So if your group is not running a Blood Decay or Vengeance Demon Hunter, then you're going to want to save your grip. So next up we have this pull. This is probably the worst pull in the dungeon. Yes, as you see, I die there. And I died to the Sparks. The Astral Sparks do a ton of damage. So you can't interrupt what they do. You can't, I believe you can stun them, but you can't interrupt or grip to stop them. They just do this huge pulsing AoE. See right there, we single target down. You have to single target them down. If you're running the legs, you would have, if you use it on the Nether Spikes, then you're going to have it up for that pull right there. And you make sure that you only use it if you have the legs when the sparks are up. And it's okay to save it for when that happens. So right here, I pump Cindergrosa on pull. We're just trying to burst this guy down as fast as possible because we want to get as little of the I forget what it is, the bonds that move you around. It's really bad for DKs. Maybe shouldn't have stood in the group there, but you know, it's okay. I didn't die, so right there you might want to AMS it just to make sure you don't die. And you want to get as many interrupts on the boss as you can. I popped Pillar there. Pillar wasn't up on pool, so that kind of stinks. But I am rolling breath through to the end of this fight. I do have a full fight breath. I do something at the end that you don't see a lot of people do, but at the end, I'm going to actually manually cancel my breath to save as much runic power for the next pull as possible, because it allows me to, you know, get a couple frost strikes in too if I'm out of runes or whatever. So you cancel it right there, save the 40 runic power that I have. It's probably going to dwindle down to about 10 to 15 at the end. So next up we have this pull right here. And these are amazing because they're in the haste bubble, which is really nice, but I do use Cindergrosa's Fury there, so I have it up. I'm not really using Cindergrosa's Fury in this dungeon for timing purposes and for certain pulls. I'm just using it off cooldown on relatively big trash bags. So right here, you just got to position yourself behind the barrier dudes and just AoE them down as fast as possible. This is another really annoying pull here. These you got the caster in the middle, and you have the two meleeers on the side. So what you want to do here is you just want to single target down the meleeers while you interrupt the caster. So you can interrupt the barrier by gripping him. My grip is on cooldown because I gripped the mage in the beginning to interrupt his initial cast. But right here, we're just AoEing them down, cleaving. Our cleave is amazing as Frost DKs. So we're just trying to finish this guy off. This is a pretty long one because I believe he's stuck in the Sanguine, or some people are meleeing him from the front. So right there, we finish him off, and then we move on to the boss, Korstelix. So this guy is pretty easy. He's very easy because his abilities help you. You don't want to get protocol, you don't want to get quarantine. Those are the two that are really bad. If you get quarantine, chances are you're going to lose your breath unless your group is really fast at that. You want to stay right next to the tank on this fight, though, and you just want to get one pull. You don't want to get more pulls because it's going to require you to get off the boss. And right there, I was going over to help, but our bear gets it, so it allows me to continue with my rotation, trying to keep breath up as long as I can. So I'm using Howling Blast and everything, even without a Rhyme proc, in order to keep up breath on this boss, because that's okay on this fight. Because you use so much haste, so your runes are coming off CD very fast. It's okay to kind of use them out of position like that. So right here, I'm going to look around. I don't have any pulls. If there was one pull near me, I would get it. If not, I wouldn't go for two or anything. I just want to go for one pull to kind of get that initial haste buff, so nothing crazy. And then we just kill the boss. I'm just proceeding with Obliterate, and if I get a Rhyme proc, if not, Frost Strike, so that's fine. And then we have this pull right here. We pull this because we want the extra progress, because we have to pull less in the middle then, and we have to pull less in the demon room. So right here, we're just AoEing down these guys with Obliterate, Rhyme proc, you know, standard stuff. Just trying to get any interrupts on Arckinetic Bane, I think it's called. I can't really see. But just trying to get as many interrupts as we can off on those. And you can grip them to interrupt, but I'm trying to save my grip for anything that's stuck in Sanguine, because these guys have very fickle movement with the casting, because whenever something casts, it doesn't move. So you just want to save your grip for any Sanguine stuck guys. And right there, just going back, throwing up a Howling Blast, try to kill them as fast as possible. And then we have the Spider Room. So this is a dangerous room, especially on Sanguine week, because the big ones can devour you in Sanguine. But right here we have an Affliction Warlock, so this doesn't matter. As you can see, everything's about to blow up. And there, everything blows up. I didn't have to do anything. If you don't, then that's maybe a place where you want to use Cindergrosa's Fury. I use it early because I know we have an Affliction Warlock, so I don't really need to. But right here, we don't want to pull the whole room, because again, Fortified plus Devour in Sanguine will definitely kill you. So Devour does stun you, but you can Wraith Walk out. The reason I'm not Wraith Walking out right now is because I want to save it. Well, actually, I used it there. I used it there because they're almost dead. But you want to save Wraith Walk usually for when you're stuck in a Sanguine, or Icebound Fortitude. The reason I use it there is because I have Icebound Fortitude up still, so I'm okay to get out later. You cannot AMS out of it, though. You can only Wraithwalk and Icebound, because those break stuns. Next up, we pull one more group. We're not going to pull multiple groups with this, because multiple groups can wipe the group. We've had that happen. We had it happen in an 18, so we didn't really want to risk that on a 14 when we were destined to 3-chest it. We were on track to. So right there, I grip it out of the Sanguine right there, and actually grip it off one of our guys who was getting devoured. So it's definitely a huge help to people to be able to grip the spiders out of the sanguine off of people who are stuck in it. So obviously we don't have to worry about that because it's not sanguine week anymore, but it's still it helped when that rotates back around. So right here, just waiting to pull the boss. So what is this girl's name? Whatever her name is. She is annoying. She's annoying because she puts the bombs on you, the tethers. The tethers are the worst because tethers require you to run away. So I tell my group initially, I'm a DK, I'm not running away. I'm just not going to run away because if I have to run away, I'm getting off the boss, I'm going to lose my breath probably. So I'm just trying to maintain everything. So it's about to teleport away. Now, I'm just cleaving onto the ad right here. As you can see, I threw up a Ryan Brock on the ad. So that's it. As you can see, 1.4 million, just destroyed it. Those don't drop sanguine, so you don't really have to worry. I didn't get a tether, thank God, because our rogue said I'm going to stay in as well. So if we both got tethered, we probably would have just died. Right here, it's about to teleport away, and I quickly switched the ad to maintain my breath because it was about, 60 runic power there, so it wasn't really a worry. We still have to kill the ad anyway. We didn't really have to, but I was just trying to maintain my breath as long as possible. And then I canceled to save runic power for the next pull. So next pull, these are some annoying pulls here that we have. The demon pulls, you want to focus down the big guys first. The reason I want to focus them down is because they absolutely destroy the tank on fortified. If it's tyrannical, they'll do so much less damage. You should still focus them down because they'll do the most damage, but you don't really have to worry about them as much as the little casters. Although with the little casters, you want to interrupt Demonic Ascension and Portal Argus. Those are the two that summon and bring in some really annoying shit that you have to deal with. So for this guy, you can grip Prophecies of the Doom, and you want to grip Prophecies. You don't want to grip anything else. You don't want to grip Eye. You want to grip Prophecies because Prophecies does huge damage to the group. So you definitely want to make sure that you save your grip for that. Next up, we have this chick. She does two things you have to watch for. Fellstorm, easy to dodge. Bladestorm, which has a pretty big range, and it's on her. I pop Breath on her because we want to kill her as fast as possible. Actually pop a Hungering too. You just want to roll stuns on her. You cannot grip her. You can only stun her. So we have like in-cap Roar and something else. I don't really know. But, we roll stun on her, and it's absolutely fine. You just don't want to deal with Bladestorm. So next up we have these guys. This is another annoying pull. Since we have an Affliction Warlock, he just, what is it called? He takes control of the Chaos Bringer. So he gets a huge damage buff from that, which is great for this boss, and it lets us deal with one less thing. But again, for this guy, you want to grip for Prophecies. We didn't really get a Prophecies because we were rolling stuns, so it's absolutely fine. And you want to kill this guy. You want to kill this guy second because the Seer does more damage in Fortified week. And I think it just does more damage overall. So you definitely want to kill that one first. And then we go to the General Zaktal. So this guy is very straightforward, very easy. You just want to just single target him as fast as possible. You want to pop everything on pull. As you can see, I pop everything on pull. Just trying to start my rotation as fast as possible because this guy's going to die really fast because our Warlock got the Chaos Bringer controlled. So he gets a huge, I think it's like a 25 or 30% damage buff. So I'm not going to be able to compete with him at all. I pop AMS there so I can stand in melee. What staying in melee allows me to do is get the runic power from the little purple swirlies on the ground. So I get extra runic power from that, and I can also just stay in melee instead of having to run away. So I don't even have to pop my second Hungering on this because I did that AMS trick, so it allows me to have 2 Hungerings for the final boss, because I wouldn't have had 2 Hungerings for Advisor of Andros. So Advisor of Andros is very easy, but there are a couple tips and tricks I can give you for him. So right here, I just pop everything on pull. The reason I pop everything on pull is because I'll have Pillar up for the second phase. So right here, I pop 2 Hungerings, or I pop 1 Hungering. And my next one is coming up in a second. I'm actually going to save it. I'm not going to use it because he is about to banish us. So just waiting to get banished and Force Bomb. And now here's where you can cast Banish in Time. So what you just want to do for Banish in Time is you want to go around the outside of. You can't go back through the middle. So we go this way. And you're going to experience, I think, 4 of the anomalies or whatever. The arcane dudes. What is it? I can't really see what they're called, but you can actually Wraithwalk or Icebound out of the time. Like I think it's actually Icebound, you can't Wraithwalk out. So if you get Time Lock, just Icebound, keep running. So you're completely fine. It's not like you have to wait for other people to interrupt it, but if someone does get Time Locked, you should interrupt it or grip it, either one. So you have 2 interrupts technically. And then we just run through, and I pop Cindergrose's Fury here because it's the best I'm going to get out of it, because I don't really need the DPS for Vandros. We're about to trash him, and I just want everyone to get to the boss as soon as possible. So pop Cindergrose's Fury there because our Rogue has ramp and our Affliction Warlock has ramp, so we just want to get that done fast. And then we get to the boss. We just single target him down. I don't have breath for this guy, and my pillar is done now. So I really don't have much for this, so I'm interrupting where I can, but I'm just doing Obliterate Rhyme proc, even though I'm full on Runic Power because the fight's about to end. So it doesn't really matter that I'm capped out on Runic Power. And I'm not using Remorseless Winter because there's no real point using Remorseless Winter. It's about to die. It's better if I put my runes into Obliterate instead so I can get the Rhyme procs. And that's basically it. So if you're a Frosty guy, I hope this video helped you guys. I didn't get any loot from this dungeon, but I did get like 5 million AP, so it's pretty nice. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.